everyone, and welcome to Change Agentz TV. I know it's been a while, but we're back and we're doing interviews again. And my first guest for this season of Change Agentz is Nilda G. Thomas. And Nilda is an ed tech consultant. She also does marketing consulting as well around the ed tech industry. So Nilda is here today to talk to us about her business and her journey through building this business and how it affects the population that she serves. Because Nilda's an entrepreneur, not just an entrepreneur, she's a social entrepreneur. And you guys know that that is what I focus on. Social entrepreneurs, whether you're a nonprofit or for-profit, people who serve the community, who make change. And that's why this is called Change Agentz, right? So, hey everyone, my name is Tracy Vial. I'm the owner of TVA Consulting Group. I am an impact strategist, a social entrepreneur and enterprise consultant, and a small business funding strategist. And I've been in the business for over 23, I think I counted 23 or 24 years now. It's been a long time, right? Telling my age, of course, but let's get started. Nilda, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, everyone. My name is Nilda Thomas. I'm the founder and CEO of Workforce eTraining Solutions. We're an ed tech consultancy and distributor licensing e-learning technology software and curated content in a variety of topics for college and workforce readiness, including those soft skills. And so we offer online and technical training to schools, organizations, community colleges, and companies who are seeking to upskill and reskill their workforce.
Awesome. And we were talking about on Morning Tea how important workforce development and workforce skills are to our community today, because it's something that kind of got lost in the fray of everybody being pushed to get a college degree and get all those student loans that they now can't pay back, right? But now we're kind of getting back to basics, where we're realizing that a college degree is not the beginning all to end all, and a college degree does not necessarily make a great employee. The skills that are necessary to do the day-to-day activities and accomplish the goal is what is pivotal. Because I think a lot of employers realize that even when people came from college with their bachelor's degree and their master's degree and stuff, they still had to invest time to train them to get the job done. They had the methodology or the knowledge of the concept of what the job entailed, but the actual on-the-job experience was missing. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. And today, you know, the schools are not, when I say schools, I'm speaking of your post-secondary schools. They are not teaching students to have skills for them to be able to go into the workforce. And even some of the community colleges as well.
So then your program is uniquely developed to fill that gap, correct?
Yes.
We're tell us about it. I'm just putting myself on mute because I'm getting some reverb. So just go ahead and tell us about your business and what it does, and then I'll come back.
Sure. So we consider ourselves advocates of education, digital and financial equity, and economic development. And so we provide access to online career and technology training to minorities, women, teens, veterans, underserved communities. And we believe that e-learning helps to bridge the digital divide and the skills gap and move people towards upward economic mobility. And the courses that we offer basically ed technology, various platforms. It depends, you know, on what the organization or the school is looking for. We offer for the high schoolers or the adult ed. We have the career and workforce readiness track. We have money management. We also have those that have not graduated from high school. We have those online GED programming. We also have programming that also is help for those that are incarcerated that will be coming out. So those returning citizens, our programs fit that segment of people as well. And your 16 to 24-year-olds that are in the adult ed space. On the other end of the spectrum, we also saw that there was a need to have early career exploration, and for those students in the K to 12 space to have exposure in STEM. So we have some of the most innovative virtual STEM programming available that includes robotics, coding, e-learning, virtual reality, even a virtual reading program that helps students to read using scientific knowledge. And so we have a plethora of programming available. And then on the business side, we have those compliance training type courses. So courses for human resources, diversity and inclusion, those hazmat type safety courses that will help for universities and campuses, as well as even those business courses for project management, CompTIA, Microsoft, digital marketing, sales, those types of compliance type courses that help businesses to upskill and reskill their workforce.
Great. So that's a lot, right? Let's just say that. That's a lot of different types of courses that you offer. How did you decide what courses you wanted to offer, and how are you sourcing those courses? So are they being taught by one person, or are they being taught by experts in the area?
A lot of my courses are self-paced, but we also have instructor-led programming as well. So it really basically depends on what the need of the organization that I am speaking to. And that's where that ed tech consulting comes in. These schools now, because of COVID, they've had to figure out how they're going to continue to educate their students, whether it be the younger students or your college students. And so they've had to pivot, but the educator is not a technical person, and they don't have that business background or technical background. And so you have these institutions and these entities trying to figure out and putting programming together, and they're realizing that things aren't working. And so they really need to enlist in someone like myself who has that ed technology background, who can partner with them and work with them in building an infrastructure and building a program that's going to enable them to really have a robust curriculum and programming for their students. And what I offer is more for them to be able to have a blended solution, not to necessarily take away that live instruction with the students, because the students do need to have that instruction or that live instruction with their teacher or instructor. But they definitely need to have the blended, I believe, because of the technology. Students now, technology is not going away. And being from the technology space myself, I've been in this business for over 20 years, and every 3 months, every 6 months, technology is changing. And so we have to be able to educate and provide this vehicle for students to be able to learn and continue to learn as technology is moving as well, because that's how they're going to be able to get those jobs.
I agree. That is exactly how they're going to be able to get the jobs, is to have those foundational skills that are necessary. What surprised me, and I think it may surprise a lot of people, because when I was going to school, one of the classes that you had to take in order to graduate was computer science, right? Everyone was required to take a computer science class. I was very, very surprised when I worked with a group of students, I think it was not last summer, well, part of last summer, but mainly the summer before, that a lot of these kids, right, who were 11th and 12th graders, did not know how to use any of the Microsoft software. Mm-hmm. And that floored me, because you would think that because we're in a technological era that they would know how to use that, but they only know how to use Facebook, Instagram, and Google it.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
They don't know how to use any of the foundational softwares. And when you go into a business to work, you need to know how to truly use a computer. And I found that a lot of these kids don't know how to do it. That was shocking to me. I mean,
Yes.
is that something that you're seeing?
Yes, I'm seeing that. And that's what we have. We have those courses that have the Microsoft Office suite, if you will. So it teaches you about the G Suite, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those, as well as we have those job role ready type programs. And when I say job role ready, meaning that these are certificate programs that have already been vetted and approved by various industry boards and industry companies. And so we have, from the medical, we even have, high school, as well as your industry IT type pre-certification type courses. So we're talking about project management, Microsoft Office, even digital marketing manager type roles, specialists, SEO, graphic artists or graphic design, those type of courses, even cybersecurity specialists, those types of courses that people can take and gain that skill, get the certificate, and be ready to get a decent entry-level job.
Right. An entry-level job, or decide to go the entrepreneurship route because you have the
exactly.
to do it, right? So
Right. And we have some of those courses as well, because in entrepreneurship, you need to know about business, you need to know about accounting, right? You need to know how to use those technology tools, those the Microsoft suite. You need to know how to use those. And then we also have sales and marketing type courses. So if you're in business, you have to know how to sell, you have to know how to market.
Right. Exactly.
And also another thing that I want to mention is, it's not just about the skills for jobs, but also those soft skills. That's very important in business, whether you're working in like your critical thinking, team building, empathy, those types of.
It's so ironic that you would say that, right? Because I am interviewing people right now for a administrative role, and the one thing that made me put some of their resumes basically in the garbage per se, you're not putting it in the garbage, but I'm just like, okay, you're not a candidate, is if they started off anywhere in their cover sheet where they said that multitasking was a skill that they had. A lot of the resumes talked about they were able to multitask. For me, that's a turnoff, because as human beings, we truly cannot multitask. That became a big thing, like maybe about 10, 15 years ago. Oh, you got to be able to multitask. You get nothing done when you try to multitask.
Right.
So just for whoever is listening, that's not a soft skill. Do not put it on your resume. It's a turnoff, because then I know that if you're telling me you're going to multitask, that means I'm going to have to micromanage you. But
right. But also, and then too, with those soft skills, is once you get the job, how are you going to keep the job? Right. You have to be able to listen, good listening skills, team building skills, collaboration, all of those, not only in the workforce, but also if you're an entrepreneur as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's a plethora of stuff that you're offering, and those are the types of skills I really do think that kids coming out of high school really need to employ in order to become rounded adults, ready for success in this world that we live in, because this is the world that we're living in. Just the academics will not work in today's society. So now we talked about what you have for mainly like high schoolers going into adulthood. So what do you have for people who are in college that are, they've already done the partial adulting? That means getting out of high school, going into college, and now they feel like they're adults and they're on their own and they're ready for life. But there's still a lot of things that they may need to learn, or maybe they got a degree already and they can't find a job, because that's a real thing, right? And
right.
Yeah.
Well, we do have assessments. So we do career assessments. So that way people can take a look and see what their skill set is that they currently have or what they might be good at, and then put them into the type of job role program that we have, certificate program, or either develop a program for them, because we have not only those certificate programs where you get several courses to get that certificate, but we also have those singular courses that we can actually choose from those singular courses and create an actual program for them that's going to fit that person.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know you offered that, because I think that job skills assessment is so pivotal, because a lot of times I find, and I know I went through it as well, we go into college thinking that we want to be one thing. That's all we've ever talked about. That I want to be a doctor. Let's use my situation as an example. I wanted to be a doctor, and that's the only thing I ever wanted to be. Started off as a pre-med student, ended up getting pregnant with my son. And then I was just like, wait a minute, I can't do this and this at the same time. So something has to give. I can't give up motherhood. So now I need to be a mother. I still need to go to college, but I can't do what it is that I really wanted to do. So I just kept changing majors for a while. You know, I would start one thing and I'd be like, and then start something, another degree, and then I'd be like, So I have several minors because I did so many. I changed my degree so many times. I would be like 18, 20 credits in, and then I'd be like, you know. But one of the things that I really realized when I decided to transition into entrepreneurship full time, because it was my side hustle for many years, and I would never forget it. And I keep thanking the lady who gave me who planted the seed in me for it. When I was getting ready to leave education, my co-teacher, because I taught inclusive classes, right? So I had a special ed teacher who was in the class. So I was a subject area teacher and she was a special ed teacher. And she was an older lady, she was in her 60s. And I was like, when I leave this job, I know I want to leave, but I don't know what I want to do after. I said, I don't know how to do anything else but teach, right? And she says, what are you talking about? You have so many transferable skills that you've developed here in education that you can take other places. She said, you've been in management here, you've ran certain committees, you've done fundraising, you've done this, you've done that. And she just started listening. I was like, wow, I've done a lot. I'm not just a teacher, you know what I mean? So just like sometimes we think of ourselves in a silo, like we can only do one thing. And I think society has also told us that you can only do this one thing. So if you're a teacher, you could just be a teacher for the next 30 years. You're not supposed to do anything else. You can't be really great in some other area. And that is something I discovered along the way, because yes, I've been a grant writer all the time I was teaching. Most people never knew that I did it. My side hustle was my secret. Only people who needed to know, right? Only people who needed to know, the people who were paying me, knew what I was doing, right? So I was writing these grants, helping people to start their nonprofits, helping people to do all this thing in their nonprofits behind the scenes that nobody on my job knew about. I remember one time I went and I asked we needed a grant written. And this was when I was first getting into grant writing. And there was a grant writing course coming up, and I asked my principal to send me to the grant writing course. And he told me, no, we're sending someone else. The person worked in the office. The person wasn't even a teacher. The person worked in the office, and he sent them. So what did I do? I took my money and paid for my grant writing course on my own. Right? So whenever they wanted a grant written after that, I just kind of did this. I don't know who y'all talking to. You didn't train me. So I don't know how to write grants as far as they were. I was like, I don't know how to do that. They were like, of course you do. No, I don't. You know? But I'm just saying, like, sometimes we really just think that we can only do one thing. So I think that assessment is such an important tool in pulling out of people what else they're passionate about and what other skills have hidden or buried that they don't even realize that they may be able to utilize to transition into another job or become an entrepreneur.
Right, right. And then too, that's something that we use for the high schoolers as well, because they're at that age, they don't really know what they want to do, right? And so we try to use that as well. Pardon me?
That was a dreaded test in high school because I don't know who made that test when we were going to high school, but like things like garbage man was on that test. Like people were told that you can only be a garbage man. Yeah, it was, nobody wanted to take that test in high school because nobody wanted to hear that they could only do XYZ based on however they were scoring that test. So that test back then, I know it's developed way different today, but back then it was horrible.
I want to come back to something you had mentioned a few seconds ago about social. I think, I don't know if it was disability or it was social.
I taught to classes.
Special ed. You had mentioned something about special ed.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah. I wanted to mention also that we offer SEL, social emotional learning type programming as well for adult ed and for that K-12 space.
Oh, okay.
And also in the careers area. So we have an animated program that is for your middle to high schoolers that actually have all those clusters of those job areas, so manufacturing, carpentry, accounting, all of those. And it actually gives you what that salary could be. And pardon me?
Remind me, I need to give you 2 referrals. Just
great. Great.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Okay.
Yes.
And then, of course, we know that you have training, because we talked about that, training for people who are already in the workforce, for companies that want to, I guess, maybe do their professional development training or have their current staff trained in some new area. So talk a little bit about that.
Right. Well, with COVID, a lot of companies have had to lay off people. And so the workers that are still there are not only doing the jobs that they were doing, but now they're doing the jobs of those people that are no longer there. And how are they doing those jobs? So those courses that I offer, so those courses that I offer will allow them to come up to speed and get that skill in accounting or in project management or Microsoft Office or any of those other. I have so many courses I can't. I because I have those compliance courses, and then I have those skill based courses as well. So it just depends. So again, that's where I would come in with my consulting and working with companies, staffing companies who are looking to place displaced workers into jobs. I could work with them as well, because I can offer them programming to help their candidates come up to speed so they can get those jobs that they're trying to fill for their clients. So those are a lot of different scenarios on how I work with various entities, but people, they don't think about it in that way. Right.
Because I used to work with a staffing agency, and that was one of the problems that we ran into a lot, wherein people would send in their resumes, but they just did not have sometimes the soft skills or the hard skills in order to effectively get and perform on the job, right? But there were never any trainings that we could send them to. We would refer them out to the Department of Labor, and that's a labor-intensive process all into itself, if they can fit you in, if they have the right courses at the time. So that is a whole nother beast unto itself. So it's good to find out that you also offer that to staffing companies as well.
Yeah. And then also too, now with social media, with the digital marketing and all of that, all businesses need to have someone on in their workforce. If they're not a big company, they can't have a whole team, a whole marketing team, but they're going to need to have at least several employees that need to know how to do SEO, who know how to do graphic design, who know how to do digital marketing, who know how to do paid advertising, who know how to do PR, those types of things, and sales. And so those types of job role ready type courses that I offer, they would be able to take several of those and have a plethora of skills that could really help them help that business thrive. And also, especially in a nonprofit really needs a lot of help in those areas.
Oh, I know it.
And they don't have, and the thing is that they don't have the resources to be able to hire an outside agency, right? So why not give those employees or your staff that ability to learn those skills so they can make them that much better?
And how can we talk a little bit about how they would do that? Would that be on a one-time fee basis, and then once they've utilized it, then they don't have access to it anymore? Or would that be on a rolling contractual basis? Or if they buy the program, then they own the program? How does that work?
It would be on a rolling contractual basis. The programs are, they would have access to the program for a year, and then they can renew it. So, and then it depends also on the number of employees that they're looking to upskill or provide courses for. So it's the number of employees as well as the number of courses.
Okay, that makes sense. So if people want to reach out to you, I know I have your website rolling at the bottom, but just give them the verbal, how they would contact you, all of your social media, however you want them to reach out to you.
Sure. So they can reach me at Nilda.
Yeah, your name again, the name of your company, and then the rest of it.
Right. So Nilda Thomas, Workforce eTraining Solutions. My email is nilda@workforceetraining.com. And as you can see, as it's scrolling down at the bottom, there's 2 E's in the middle. So don't forget that second E, because it won't come to me.
So let me read it out for the people who are going to be listening to this on a podcast. It's Workforce, that's WORKFORCE, right? Another E, training, TRAINING.com. So it's Workforce, and then you need to put another E and then training.com so that it gets to Nilda.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Nilda, I am so happy that you joined us here for Change Agentz TV. And you just gave us such a plethora of information and how you are using your programs and your services to enact change within the community that you're serving, and getting people ready to get out there, make money either in their jobs or transition from one job to another, or even transition into entrepreneurship, which is amazing. So you have a wide variety of areas you can transition into with these certification programs. Know that college is not the only way to make money in 2021. Getting those skills that you need through a training program, and Nilda offers a ton of them, is another way to get yourself workforce ready, right?
Correct.
All right, Nilda, thank you so much again for being my guest today. And until next time.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Yes, you're welcome. Until next time, everyone.